I want to start this with something very clear. This is not about telling anyone how to vote. This is about asking what happens when the act of voting itself becomes dangerous. Over the past several months, public figures have floated ideas that would have been unthinkable not long ago. Talk of nationalizing elections, talks of federal agents at polling places, talks of securing democracy through force. Let's slow this down and separate reality from rhetoric, because even talk of armed presence at the polls has consequences. In the United States, elections are run by the states, not Washington, D.C., not federal agencies. States manage voter registration, polling locations, ballots, and counting. The federal government's role is limited, protecting voting rights, enforcing civil rights law, and offering cybersecurity support. Agencies like DHS and CISA help states defend against cyber attacks and foreign interference. They do not run polling places. They do not check voters. They do not stand ground with badges and weapons. Now imagine a different picture. It's election day. You walk towards the polling place, and outside, uninformed federal officers, uniformed federal officers, weapons visible, vehicles nearby. Even if those officers say nothing, even if they don't stop a single voter, the message is already sent. Political scientists and civil rights groups are clear on this point. The presence of armed authority changes behavior. People self-censor. They avoid risk. They stay home. Historically, intimidation doesn't need orders. It works through fear. Immigrant communities, elderly voters, first-time voters, people with past negative experiences with law enforcement. They don't argue, they don't protest, they just don't show up. And here's where the scenario turns apocalyptic. Not dramatic, not systematic. Step 1. Armed presence reduces turnouts in certain communities. Step 2. Election results shift not because voters changed, but because voters vanished. Step 3. Legal challenges explode. Courts are flooded with injunctions, emergency filings, constitutional claims. Step 4. Competing narratives harden. One side claims security, the other side claims suppression. Neither trusts the outcome. Of course not. They're both claiming it's right, and well, at least one side. I hope both sides are, but at least one side is willing to rig it. I'm not saying which one, but you know. Now imagine this doesn't happen in one state. Imagine it happens in several or nationwide. That's how democracies don't collapse in one day. They unravel through legitimacy and crisis. This is exactly why U.S. law draws such a hard line against armed forces at polling places. Those laws exist because this already happened during Reconstruction, Jim Crow, and labor elections. Armed presences was used to decide outcomes without firing a shot. The lessons learned from are simple. If voters feel threatened, the vote is no longer free. Now let's talk about some dangerous misunderstandings. There is a difference between protecting elections and controlling them. Security defends infrastructure, control intimidates people. Once voters believe ballots are cast under threat, every future election becomes suspect. What follows isn't order. It's permanent instability, boycotts, parallel elections, refusing to accept results, street confrontations outside polling areas. This isn't speculation. This is how fragile systems fail when legitimacy is lost. The most important safeguard of democracy isn't force, it's trust. And trust cannot coexist with armed intimidation at the ballot box.